Good morning, everybody. It's me, Terry Hunter. It is April 7th. This is the weekend when all the stars were aligned to make things happen, and I'm so excited. I've got some stuff to tell you. First, I have to tell you that, okay, so I want to mention Artsy Girl Marilyn. Good morning. Hi. I never heard from you about you won last week's free reading. So that occurred to me that it didn't actually occur to me that anybody wouldn't come and get their reading. So I'm going to have to put a time limit on it. So each week you have 1 week till the next week to come and book it. You don't have to have it that week, but otherwise I'll just have all these free things floating in the air, and I don't want to have to keep track of them. So again, Artsy Girl Marilyn, you have 1 more week to schedule your free reading. And then we had a winner. Yeah, I was just about to announce it. Let me grab it. I had all these crazy things happen right before the broadcast. I had this moth in my house for 2 nights, and he's been flying around like at 3 o'clock in the morning in my room, and I couldn't find him. And then right before the broadcast, he showed up. So I captured him and took him outside and saved him. So I didn't kill him. Okay, our winner this week is, dun, 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 dun. It is B, capital M-E, capital B-E. And it was the number 186. Can you see that? Okay, so maybe contact me through Lotta's website. You have a week to do that, to collect or to book your free reading, and then we'll go from there. So Artsy Girl Marilyn and Maybe, you are last 2 weeks winners. And then I'm going to draw another number. I'm not looking. I think I got 1. No, I got 2. Okay, got it. All right, I'm putting it in the envelope, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and then what else do I want to tell you guys? Oh, I wanted to remind you, oh yes, to choose between 1 and 500, and any previous numbers come out of play. You guys will have to keep track of that because it's going to get a little crazy too. And then I wanted to remind you that I'm doing the special for the Pluto K2 Saturn conjunction. Those have been really fun readings. I have to say it's been, I don't really advertise myself as a medium per se, but when you work in spirit, you know, and you call forth all energies equal to or higher than your own, sometimes people come through. So it's been kind of nice doing that. I've also been working on some other services for you guys, as far as being able to ask 1 question and get a quick turnaround and things like that. Hopefully we'll be officially announcing those soon. And then we're going to go from here, I guess. All right. Let's start with Aries. Hi, everybody. I think I'm going to have like 3 or 4 different types of readings, not just love and career, but so you can ask 1 question and get it escalated if you need it, like in a turnaround. So it'll be like 1 price if you're not in a hurry. And then, and hopefully these are going to be very reasonable. And then 2 questions. And these would be the kind of things where I would just email them to you versus having a Skype session one-on-one. And then I'm going to do something with the Akashic Records. I'm really excited about that idea. And then I have another one I can't quite think of right now. But anyway, so that's it. So there's exciting stuff happening. I've been working a little Dickens off since this new moon weekend and all this planetary energy. Oh, and I wanted to share something else with you guys because especially if you guys have ordered readings and you're listening, I've had a tremendous challenge with my emails. I did some crazy migration during the retrograde because of a hacker, and it just was just stupid, really. And it just, one thing led to another, and it started tumbling. And literally, I could not email anyone for 3 days. But this is where spirit is so wonderful. Because of that big upset, I ended up finding a tool that I had needed for like 2 years, and I just couldn't find the right device, the right program, the right platform for me. And this upset actually revealed that. So it was kind of fun, and it was fun that it happened on the new moon, and it was really resonating what Lotta had said about sort of building from the old, building new onto the old. Having to take your structure of Saturn and not throw it all out, but build on it. Okay, let's start with Aries. And again, I'm going to try not to talk too much in class, except between while I shuffle. All right, Aries, what's up? Well, the first thing I hear in my head is it is a big week, no matter what has been going on. And maybe this is why I told you guys about this upset creating something that was actually really great. Because I want to say for Aries, I feel like the very first hit I'm getting is that if anything has been disruptive, allow it to reveal itself. There may be wisdom in that disruption. And I think we'll see that here. And there's Merlina. Are you confused and indecisive? Okay. Hold on, here we go. All right, let me do the other deck. So first we got Merlina, and then in the opportunity or the obstacle, we got Oceana. In the angel's advice, we got Chantal, and then we got Xana. We're going to marry them to this Avalon deck. Okay, our first disruption joins Merlina. The butterfly joins Oceana. The wind fairy joins Chantal. And the trust card shows Xana. Okay, I'm just going to say it. This, Spirit, lately I feel like Spirit is just literally whispering in my ear. I know they're not because I'm a clairsentient, but I get these weird feelings. So here we have. I just got done talking about a huge disruption that led to something better. There's Merlina. She says, Aries Rising, you are confused. You are indecisive. You may have experienced a disruption of some kind that has thrown you into confusion. I feel like this is not, this disruption in some ways is about honing your focus as to whether or not you can do anything about that disruption. I feel like you're powerless over it. So you have an opportunity to turn around and focus in another direction. Focus in something that may be more productive and more in alignment with where you want to go. Oceana says to lovingly take action, to assert yourself. What a great weekend this has been, with all these planets. I mean, really, we have pretty much until, depending upon where you are in the world, the 7th or the 8th to facilitate the moon being in Taurus and all the other energies that are going on and allowing we are on Aries Rising, just started. Here is the butterfly. This is your opportunity and or your obstacle to use this energy to be like the caterpillar and to allow yourself to come out of the dark and poke through, because this is in the angel's advice. Chantal is the romance card, but I don't think this is about romance here. I think this is about you, Aries Rising, loving yourself more because you were able to get out of your head, get out of analysis paralysis and move into action, even though there was a disruption. Because in the final position, we have Xana, the angel of protection. And this is really, I think, of course, physical protection, but more so emotional and spiritual protection. Because when we are unaligned emotionally and spiritually, that's when we get out of our head and we're not paying attention and accidents can happen. So here's the trust card married with Xana. So this disruption that has come up is really, there's a bigger wisdom to it. And I have to say, while I haven't enjoyed that dynamic, I have found a lot of wisdom I'm an Aries rising, so this is absolutely for me too. In certain disruptions have opened and laid way to things that I could not have imagined. So keep an open mind this week and take decisive action. In the sense, Aries, I want to say this. I know that Merlina is saying you're confused by the disruption, but if you allow yourself to shift your focus into what you can be decisive about, it will help spread whatever energies are lingering from the disruption, and then we can get into this powerful manifestation that I think Xana is offering. Okay, let's go on to Taurus Rising. All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, Julie. Hi, Maria. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Mandy. Hi, SMA, Chanel, Kiza, Supriya, or that's Supriya, I think. Hi, Alicia. Welcome, everybody. I love seeing y'all. I swear I look so forward to doing this I feel like I'm coming to a party. All right, here we go. We have shuffled Taurus Rising. You know, every time I say that, I feel a little emotional. So I'm wondering if Taurus Rising is feeling a little, this is your moon, moving things in. You've got Uranus hovering around. Sometimes Uranus can give you kind of this free-floating anxiety, especially when there's something exciting about to be birthed, when there's something that's about to be able to be brought into, you know, this is a big week, I think, for manifestation. So you guys may have just a little bit of the oogies, I don't know what to call it, but I think you've had a habit of feeling like maybe that something is going to be like bam in the back of your head. I don't think it's going to be. Let's see what the angels have to say. You know, in order for there to be balance, the universe not only gives us challenges, it gives us opportunities. And I think it's time for Taurus Rising to experience a little opportunity, a little bit of fun. Okay, let's see. Our first angel is Rochelle. Our second is Desiree. Our third is Archangel Raphael. Oh, and the final is Xana. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. 3 cards flew out of the deck. All right. So Taurus Rising. This is very interesting to me, and I'm getting chills everywhere when I say this. I have the angel Rochelle. Rochelle says, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you. But I never think of prosperity as money. I know many people who have a lot of money who are very unhappy people. So it's really more about thriving and feeling balanced and feeling purposeful in all the facets of my being, my emotional body, my spiritual body, my intimate body, my family body, my financial body, my mental body, all of them. Because I also have the death card here. And this is really about Taurus allowing for the transformation of the things that you want for you. As I was pulling the cards, I got this distinct feeling of being pulled in 2 directions for Taurus, as if you know, you have so many obligations and other people, other things, other dynamics that you get to enjoy, but also responsible to. And in doing so, maybe you've been pulling back and not allowing yourself to really, really contemplate the things that you want. And that builds resentment, because Desiree is saying, no, the conditions are not favorable right now. But I don't think that this is a no in what Rochelle is saying. It's no about looking deeper into what you're projecting out in your way of obligations, because I have the Lady of the Lake here, and this is about self-respect. It's about courage to do the things that Rochelle offers you. And I want to say this too, because it may feel a little disruptive. You know, when we go through a death, it's always disruptive. It's a transitional period, and there's an adjustment. But this death is not about a physical death. It's about the limitations that Taurus Rising is putting on itself, and to allow yourself to look deeper into, am I imposing those self-limitations on others? Because when you have the courage to see that, Archangel Raphael offers you an opportunity for a reconciliation, which brings on healing. And in doing so, it gives you a new beginning. And that's what Uranus is going to offer you for the next 8 years, is a series of new beginnings. And it's time, in some ways, for Taurus Rising to realize that it's about being a leader in your own life. The stag is about being a leader. And Xana is saying you're protected as you stand in what you want, in leadership for what you want. I truly believe that this planet is shifting into a place where we've reached a crescendo of unacceptance, and we all want to carve our own paths out into the world, regardless of what they are. Maybe you do want to work at pavilions in the market in the produce department, but I'll bet you $100, $100 million, if you ask somebody, they'd be like, no, this wasn't exactly my dream. So this is what I think is being offered for Taurus Rising, is to go by and look, really dig deep. This is a perfect astrological dynamic to do so, to really allow these these energies that are working in your favor to lift whatever veil you have self-imposed. I really don't think, even through all the obligations, you could be a mom, you could be the CEO of a huge company, and I still feel like there's a self-imposed obligation. And as you trust that you are a leader following your heart, then everything will start to fall into place. Time will somehow stretch, or somehow there'll be some cooperative thing that comes in and takes a burden off your plate that enables you to do something more. Okay, let's go on to Gemini. So as I say that, because Gemini rules Mercury was retrograde, and this is when this whole thing started with my computer. Never, ever have I had issues with my email, ever, anything, never. I spent so many hours on the phone Friday night with GoDaddy, and I have to tell you, I was thinking to myself, what is this saying to the new moon while I'm in the midst of this mess of not being able to get a hold of people? They booked appointments. I'm trying to get around it, and all this kind of stuff. And when I think about it now, in hindsight, 2 days later, it's like Spirit probably was giggling because they didn't know. I didn't know that all of this disruption. And let me tell you, every single one of the guys I spoke to at GoDaddy was so cool. They did not bums rush me. I mean, literally, when I say I spent hours, I spent 2.5 hours with this guy Friday night on the phone. Had dinner with him, frankly. So, but what manifested out of it, and this is why I'm going with this, is something that I just could not have conceived. And I feel like I just want to say, especially because we're going into Gemini right now, Gemini Rising, you guys tend to weigh things back and forth. You look at all the scenarios, and then you default to what might be the most challenging one, where you may not win all the time, or you have to work extra hard. I feel like, again, this is a time to really look deeper into what you're standing on when you're making your projection, and then give yourself an opportunity to say, maybe there's a bigger wisdom here. Maybe whatever this back and forth thing is, maybe Spirit's got something up and I don't know about it. And then just give me a whoop. It's a human condition, I think, to even if you're not a Gemini rising, it's just the human condition. We're peppered with fear-based things. Allstate's going to save us when we crash. America Cancer Centers are going to get us when we get this. I mean, it's so sad these days. Commercials used to be fun. They used to be like the Super Bowl all the time. They weren't these depressing, you're swirling the drain things. So the human experience is, even though there's this acute fear, or I should say chronic fear, it's also the thing that empowers us as we move past it and says, I don't know if I want to buy that right now. I want to see something else come through. So we do that, and then that sets a experience up for ourselves. It gives us the brave heart to do it again the next time. And then we start to send a ripple effect out. And that's where I think this ascension is coming from, is this bigger intention to express our unique individuality. Okay, Gemini Rising, here we go. All right, here we go. Our first angel is Maya. The second is Yvonne. The third is Fiona. And the final is Archangel Uriel. Well, oh, okay. Welcome, Elena 00. Okay, we have the wasp joining Maya. We have the horse joining Yvonne. We have the butterfly joining Fiona. And we have the cow joining Archangel Uriel. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. The wasp is a very challenging energy. It's a stinging energy. It's about anger. It's about frustration. It's about jealousy and retaliation. That's in the first position. In the final position, we have Archangel Uriel. So I would say, Gemini Rising, maybe you are going through this a little bit of a period of frustration, being annoyed, maybe even with yourself. I started this whole thing about talking about over-analysis paralysis in some ways. And I feel like you've got Maya here. Maya talks about schooling and education. And of course, so many of you may be involved in traditional schooling and education. But for me, from the angelic realm, it's my energetic education. It's being able to determine where my energy is. And when I personally get hot, it's hard for me to shift into a place of hearts and flowers, it's all going to be okay. So what I think this is about in some ways, Gemini, is if you are indeed irritated, annoyed, coming up against a situation where you're even annoyed with yourself because you're thinking too much, this is a time for you to actually allow that to work for you. So when I say surrender to it, it doesn't mean that it's just going to pop up and go away. What I mean is it's a surrender and not beating yourself up for feeling that way. It's a surrendering in that, we all get in that place, back and forth. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Will I be safe? Won't I be safe? Is this good? Is this bad? Because I have Yvonne here. Yvonne's my card of vulnerability. And then I have the horse, which is traditionally on this deck, it says asking for help and delegating authority, but it's always been a very intuitive card for me. Horse doesn't follow fear. And when we're vulnerable to something, we will feel fear of loss of it. And that might be where this frustration is coming in a little bit. Because when I go to the angel's advice for Gemini Rising, I see Fiona and the butterfly. This is really an opportunity, I want to say this, for you to shift out of your mercurial head back and forth. This is an opportunity for you to kind of say, you know what, I'm so frustrated. Thank you, Spirit, for giving me the eyes to see this with more ease and more harmony instead of the constant back and forth, because Archangel Uriel helps us deal with anger, frustration, being unreleased forgiveness. But this feels very self-imposed to me this week. It's almost as if you're hearing all this great news about these planets and all this great energy, and you just can't connect to it. And you're like, la, 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 la. And you know what? That might be the very disruption that actually helps you feel the difference when you find the peace of mind that the cow offers. This is about abundance. This is about asking and receiving. And this is about nourishment. And Maya is asking you in the first position to come to Spirit, as Fiona says here, and to say, just surrender to it. You know what? I'm in my human body and I can't be perfect today. And really, I saw this thing. Okay, Gemini Rising. I saw this thing on Instagram. It said, is it considered saving a life if you don't kill somebody? And I kind of want to go with that. It was kind of funny to me because it was just like, I think sometimes we get so frustrated with ourselves, we need to come with a little warning label. So be gentle with yourself as you are contemplating these. I'm going to pull one clarification card on this just because I want to get a little, see how it's going to end out. Gentleness and diplomacy of the deer. So that's really just be chill with yourself, because what you may be manifesting this week with all this planetary activity is permission to know how to analyze something and not get stuck there and not always default to your fear. Okay, let's go on to Cancer. Lavender Lady, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. There's the Aborigines have a, at least I read this in a book. I've never been there. I've never met an Aborigine, but that they change their names as they evolve through the human experience to reflect their evolution. So it's fun to see that comment. Love that. Because we are evolving, and sometimes our minds, Gemini Rising, can get stuck in an old version of ourselves and keep going that direction when we actually have other options that we don't think about. Okay, on to Cancer. Here we go. All right, you guys, yeah, remember to put your numbers in between 1 and 500. Hi, Robert. Great to see you. I think you're having a birthday coming up. Are you, Robert? Oh, I think that. Anyway, yeah, okay, so everybody 1 to 500, put in your number. And remember, I want to remind everybody too that when you win, if I don't hear from you within a week, just to let me know that you got, yes, I've got it, and you can book it later. I just don't want to have I don't want to have to do a lot of administration trying to remember who won what. So if you're one of the winners, this week was MEBE, capital MEBE, capital BE. You won with the number 186. And then I have Artsy Girl Marilyn, you still have a chance this week. You won last week with 77. But moving forward, if I don't hear from you guys, you kind of forfeit your free reading. Okay. Oh, and if you, reminder too, is if you go to Lotta's website and you put in the feedback, your number, it will not count. She doesn't even give those to me. She just filters them out. So be sure to put your number between 1 to 500 in the comments or in the live chat. And the first person who gets the number wins the reading. And the reason I do it this way is so that y'all can see who was the first person. All you have to do is go to the playback. 827 is out of range. Okay, here we go, Cancer. Ooh. Oh, we have Mystique and Ray flew out of the deck for you. Cancer Rising, everybody. Cancer Rising. All right. And we have Athena and we have Adriana. All right. I love the way y'all help each other out in the chat. Okay. With Mystique, we have the Dragon. With Ray, we have the Forgiveness card. With Athena, we have the Cow. And with Adriana, we have the Dog. This is beautiful, I have to say. Okay, so in the foundational position, Mystique is my angel that says, oh, SG, I'm not sure who you were, but I'm glad you found a job. So congratulations. Okay, Mystique. She's Gloria Estefan to me, you know, coming out of the dark and into the light. This is a process of moving past a challenge. And I'll tell you, there's an empowering dynamic to what Cancer has been through. I feel like Cancer's had a little bit of a, when I kind of check in right now, I feel like every week there's just a little bit of emotional challenge with Cancer to really feel that they're sitting on their right footing, that they're really where they want to be. It's like you get glimpses of it, or glimpses of the relationship, glimpses of the dynamics you want, but you don't feel quite settled. And that's confirmed by the Forgiveness card here. I'm not a big forgiveness person, honestly, and it's not because I'm unforgiving. It's because by nature, humans repeat the same things over and over again. And when they repeat them, it pisses me off, to be honest with you. So I had to learn how to reconcile it. So forgiveness became the reconciliation card. And in that reconciliation, I learned how to use that energy to my advantage, to rather not like advantage in the way of against the other person, as much as I could see the energy coming at me and I got to choose whether or not I was going to step into it again. And then if I reacted, it wasn't really always the other person's fault. It was mine, because I have Ray here. Okay. This is my opportunity and my obstacle. Ray talks about yoga and exercise, which may be really good for some of you Cancers to help you get into this reconciliation energy. But I think more so, she's really talking about connecting with spirit. That's where your real power is going to come from. And that's what the Dragon offers you, to be gentle with yourself as you go through this process. And I really feel like I'm talking about in the relationship body, you know, in the relationships that you have, not just your intimate relationships, but your family relationships, your friend relationships. I have in the Angel's Advice, I have Athena saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then I have the Cow, which is about abundance. And abundance for me is really never about money. It's about resources. It's about having everything I need. Money doesn't always give me everything I need. Sometimes people help me. Sometimes I don't know. I can't think of an example right now. But I want to say this because this is in the angels' advice. This is also something that they want you to, a posture that they would like you to assume, Cancer rising, that you are a powerful manifester and that any challenges you have are going to make you stronger as you come out of the darkness. Gloria Estefan wrote that song after a bus accident, and she thought she was going to be paralyzed for the rest of her life. And that, thank God, that didn't happen. So here, this is what I want to offer you as the angel's advice, to be able to contemplate your own power, and your opportunity is to turn over the old story to spirit. I just mentioned about, how the Aborigines changed their name as they evolved through their lifetimes. This is this opportunity for you, because this is beautiful what they have to say for Cancer rising now. This is the dog. This is unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. And here's Adriana saying that we're leading you to the answers to your prayers, to your dreams, your hopes, through those subtle intuitions, through those odd coincidences, through that random thing you saw on TV that was so weird. Why do I keep seeing that? Because I go back to Mystique and the dragon again. Because it is really important right now for Cancer to be patient with the process and keep their eye on the prize. So often, if we, most of the time people have great talents. Everybody has a talent, and we ignore those talents and we go on to whatever's hard to do because we have this need to achieve through struggle. And I really believe for Cancer, this is Cancer rising. This is really about reconciling that type of experience that you can achieve without having to struggle, but to know that every achievement requires a certain process. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like an achievement. Okay, let's go on to Leo. All right, Leo. Thank you, Janet. Thank you so much for saying. I love seeing all your comments. I'll keep track of the numbers. Oops. Oh, Leo Rising, we're just starting. Just starting, Leo Rising. All righty. Welcome, Andrew. Oh, it's me. Yay. That's a great name. It's happy sounding. Oh, it's me. Okay. Here we go, Leo Rising. Our first angel is Ray. Our second angel is Omega. The third is Athena, in the same position as for Cancer Rising. And the final angel is Crystal. All right. Okay, so as I'm shuffling, I'm always going to tell you little stories, because my stories always seem to coordinate with what's going on. I mentioned in previous videos I've been having this challenge in the neighborhood with certain dynamics and things that are, involving government and coding and, all sorts of red tape. And I was getting myself worked up into quite a tizzy. And there came a moment when I just realized that this could not be fought in the human realm, in the illusion, because this is in some ways an illusion. Our disempowerment is an illusion. Spirit knows that as we connect with source, okay, our true power comes from that. So I came to a reconciliation with that. And maybe the stars aligned and Pluto moved off something, because I was fired up for a while, but I just really realized, and I started to engage Spirit in a bigger way. And I started to say, thank you for creating not just peace within my neighborhood, but within my heart. Because it's really important for me not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because sometimes when humans start to treat me poorly, I can start thinking in a collective, all those people are bad and all these people are good. So as I was able to connect with that, I was able to really, there's still the disruption. It's still happening, but myself, I feel much more at home and at peace. And it's because I turned it over to Spirit. And the minute I did that authentically, Spirit started to give me evidence. They would nudge me to do this or go here or look at that. And all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, take a picture. So anyway, all right, on to Leo. I know this is going to relate in some way. That's why I tell you these stories, guys, because that's how Spirit gives me my information from my stories. Okay, so here we go. So our first angel is Ray. Okay, now Ray is always for me going to be a card of turning my power over to Spirit. This is where my connection, it's like going to your partner. Let's say you had a business partner. You don't make decisions without going to your business partner first. Spirit, your guides, your masters, the team, that is where your true, consultation with them. Thank you, because I have the High Priestess here. The High Priestess wants you to have the vision, the true vision, not the material. This is the thing. We come to this earth plane to play in the material, not to define ourselves by it. Just because somebody has more material wealth than another doesn't make them any better of a soul. So one soul chooses one experience, one doesn't. So Leo rising, here it is, turning over the vision of what you want for yourself to Spirit. And this is a really deep, authentic version of yourself, because in the opportunity, the obstacle, I have beautiful combination. I have the Omega. Keep up the good work. Your victory is coming to you. Now, if you look at the difference between Omega and Mystique, Omega's straight up in the light already. She's white. She's in her hind legs in celebration. And then here we have the butterfly. The butterfly always starts off as the caterpillar, not knowing, will I win? Won't I win? Where am I going to be? This little twig is all I know, to go into this cocoon and feel like it's dying, only to blossom out. Because here in the angel's advice, Leo rising, is Athena, saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And I have the king. Now, the king in this position is not going to relate to a man's energy as much as it's going to relate to justice. It's going to relate to balancing, harmony, karmic balancing of something. And it's in relation to this combination of Omega and the butterfly. So there's a certain process of being in a disruptive, darker, shadowed place that then opens up to the light. Because here in the final position, Leo rising, I have Crystal saying, have faith and hope, because there's more on the horizon that you can't see. And then I have the hawk. The hawk is always about rising above my fears. I don't know if I told you, you guys, but how the hawk became this totem for me was I was in a meditation, and literally it was noisy. I could hear the gardeners blowing their air horns, whatever those things are, leaf blowers. And all of a sudden I was just jettisoned to this place. And I felt like I was in Australia, sitting on the top of the driest hill. I could feel the grass poking in my behind. And it was totally, the valley was empty. There was nothing there. I'm like, what am I doing here? And then all of a sudden there was this Aborigine, guy here. And he's like, he turns and he looks back in the valley, and all of a sudden there's these pigs just running, rah, 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 and the dust is flying everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Fear. And I say fear. And then he turns and he looks up, and there's the hawk. The hawk is just flying, just circling over the pigs, looking down like, what are you running? There's nothing going on. So here, this is what I have to say, Leo rising. This is really about giving yourself the opportunity to go back to the High Priestess, to go back to your vision and give it to Spirit, clearly detailed, down to, what kind of toothbrush you're using. Is it a Burst? Is it a Sonicare? And then go here, trust and have faith. Hope's a little outside yourself. Faith says it's happening. And then be like the hawk and fly above your fears. Fly above what's been and give life to a new experience. All right, on to Virgo. Okay, everybody. Oh, I love that, Robert. That's Spirit nudging you in your ear. It's time. We have a message for you. We have a message for you. And that's what this is all about. Okay. Oh, Paul, I'm totally into awesome sauce. I love that. Okay, here we go. Virgo rising. And I'm just going to take a cheap shot and plug, since we're kind of in the middle here. You guys, I have the Pluto K2 Saturn special. It's 40% off until next week on April 15th. I think it's been really fun to do these sessions. They've been very illuminating. I'm not an astrologer, but what happens is Spirit uses the planets to inspire me and tell me a story. So depending upon where the house is and what's going on, it's been quite fun. And a few people have had some relatives coming through from the other side, which I don't specialize in mediumship, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, here we go, Virgo. Oh, I like to start with the angels first. Virgo rising again, for those of you who might just be joining, I go by rising sign. You can also check your moon and then your sun. Okay. Our first angel is Bridget. Our second is Astera. The third is Archangel Michael. And the final is Isabella. Interesting. Bridget and Isabella have quite a contrary. Oh, thank you so much, Evangelist Michael. I'm so glad that you are here today. And now I'm going to have to say good night. Spirit is so patient with the human experience, I have to say. I really could take a page from them every now and then. Okay. And we are going to do this. Whoops. All right, people. All right, we're going to clear the room. Some interesting energy right now. Energetically, I'm just going to send love to all those who stand in whatever illusion they do. But if you don't have the highest and greatest good of this audience, I now ask you to leave. Thank you, Spirit. All right, let's go on, Virgo. Okay, joining Bridget, we have the Fear card. Joining Astera, we have the Horse. Joining Archangel Michael, we have the Mystery card. And joining Isabella, we have the Joy card. Okay, so this is what I want to say for Virgo. You know, I love my Virgos. My grandfather, the person who was like the most important human being on earth to me ever, including my parents and everybody else, was a Virgo. He was dependable, he was reliable, he was methodical, he was logical, he was loving, he was everything, but he was also a little fear-based. So Bridget is asking my gorgeous Virgo rising to look deeper into your fears. Are they here? Are they really here? Or are you projecting something that isn't here? Is something that could be here? I was watching a TV show the other night, and I won't say what it was, but the mother in the show was just like the kid wanted to buy a house, and the mother was just like, oh, all the fear-based things that could potentially happen. And I thought to myself, zip it, lady. You're going to put the kibosh on the kid with your energy. So I want to say this. I don't think these are real, Virgo. I think this is a projected in a bit. It's planning. It's strategizing. It's, you know, insurance in some way. This is insurance, thinking something's going to happen. Because in your opportunity or obstacle, I have Astera. Astera says you deserve the best, to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires, and not to compromise. This is not about being a bulldozer over other people. This is about being intentional with Spirit about what it is you want to birth and to experience, because you're blocking on some level with your focus on the fear or on the challenge or on the bigness of it. You know, for Spirit's point of view, manifesting a parking space and manifesting $1 million is pretty much the same dynamic. It's the human that assigns a certain value that then messes with the energy. So here, as you turn over, this is again accepting help and delegating authority. It's also an intuitive card. So I take my intention and I put it up to Spirit. I'm not kidding. I'm serious, because in the angel's advice is Archangel Michael asking you to have courage to make those choices. And then there's the Mystery card reminding us that there's no puppeteer out there. There is nobody really running this show but us. We have made, you know, we're in an astrology community. We have our natal charts. They are the blueprint. They're the plan. They're the syllabus. It's the agenda that our souls chose and chose to experience. And so we have the Mystery card here to make choices. And Archangel Michael is saying, Virgo rising, please make the choice to let your fears empower you, because in the final position, God, I talk so long, is the yes card. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. And there's the joy card. Now, I got to say this about joy. It's the hardest emotion for humans to feel. The minute we feel joy, we start to go back into fear. We think, oh God, when's the shoe going to drop? How long can this last? That's the human illusion. That's what doesn't work. Rana, hi. So happy to see you here. Rona, sorry, I always do that wrong. Rona, love to you. But own it, Virgo rising. It's time. It's time to look at the fears and kind of like they're boogeymen and say, sorry, it ain't going to happen. Okay, let's just, I just really want to. Okay. If you're not nice, we take you out. You can't be in the room. That's just how it works. Okay. And if you're vulgar, you don't get to be in the room at all. Save that for another day, guys. Okay, here we go. On to Libra. I have to say, it's been really weird. I have had some 12th house activities, and I think my Neptune is in the 12th house. And it's really been an amazing experience to feel the stars have such a profound effect on me. Whereas for most of my life, I was like, oh yeah, Mercury retrograde. Okay, people aren't going to call me back, kind of thing. It's just been very, very interesting because part of I mentioned earlier that, dead people have been coming through in my readings, and I don't advertise that. I don't want to advertise that. And yet my intuition feels like it's getting bigger and growing and growing. And the more I surrender from the illusion being that this human experience is all there is, because there isn't. There's a whole lot more going on. All right, guys, here we go, Libra rising. Oh, all right. All right, our first angel is Archangel Raphael. The second is Celeste. The third is Daniel. And the final is Bridget. Okay. Barber 0611, I absolutely agree. And I want to say, before I pull the other cards, when we say literally anything is possible, every manifestation starts with the step of what do I believe about my ability with that manifestation? What do I believe about my ability to get this job? What do I believe about my ability to live in this area? And when the belief is there, then spirit starts to just move stuff out of the way, things you could never imagine. 15 years ago, I was making $12 an hour, and I moved into an apartment on Laguna Beach that is literally less than a football field away from the ocean. I couldn't afford it logically, but you know what? Spirit just kept saying to me, you can't afford not to take this place. And it was a big, huge leap of faith. And I'm going to tell you, for 2 years, it was like, whoa. Thank God I worked in a restaurant so I could feed myself. But I had, so many challenges. And then now here, years later, such a blessing to listen to that inner voice of what I want, of having that faith that I can manifest if I would just stand in the belief of it. And if the belief is hard for me, then that's where I turn to spirit and say, help me to believe. Thank you for helping me to believe. Because life can wear you down. I get it, Tammy K. I'm almost 60. I'll be 60 in October. But I'm not. This is going to be the best time of my life. This is going to be the time when everything starts to make sense, and it's just like I'm taking no prisoners. All right, let's go on, Libra rising. We have the Grail Knight. Oh, this is funny. Okay, we have the Cow joining Celeste. We have the Letting Go card joining Daniel. And we have the Wealth card joining Bridget. All right, straight up, Libras. I'm going to go for it. I don't know if y'all are, obviously I've got lots of Libras that are going to be in relationships. I'm not going to say I'm not, but this is Archangel Raphael with Sir Lancelot. So here there is a reconciliation, a healing to be offered in your love sector here, Libra, in how you're viewing love. So I want to say, whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, this week, these stars, this alignment is really an opportunity for you to shake off whatever you've been thinking about relationships. Anything like, if you think, oh, I'm this certain age and you know, it's hard to find somebody, blah, 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 because I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm just thinking it's vibrationally aligned to happen later in my life, because in your opportunity or your obstacle is Celeste. Celeste talks about a new home or a new place of employment, but for me, it's always a shift in the way that I think. We just got done saying about, it's what I believe that is the beginning of the manifestation. If I believe it's going to be hard, if I believe that it's other people deserve and I don't get it, then yeah, it's going to be hard. Yes, some people are designed to manifest slightly more easily, and some people have made a contract in their birth chart to have a little bit more challenge, but it is not insurmountable, because the challenges that we design for ourselves are also the things that give us the greatest accomplishments, the greatest feeling of purposefulness. So I want to say this. This is about relationships with Libra Rising, and it's time for you to shift the way you're thinking into the cow, that you are abundant in relationships. You are abundant in receiving a relationship if you are single. Your relationship, if you've been in it for decades, has an opportunity to shift to a sweeter place, because I'm going straight up with relationships, because here is Daniel, the angel of marriage. And here is the letting go card. Somebody being a hater? I can't see any of that right now. Okay, everyone be nice. All right, because Daniel, the angel of marriage, okay? This is in the angel's advice. The letting go card, Spirit knows this is Elsa going up the mountain from Frozen. It's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. And if you listen to all the words, this Elsa is finally writing her own story. Libra Rising. It's about time to write your own story about love and how you think about it. It's time to let Lancelot, the energy of the romance angels, bring in a relationship, because the final position is Bridget. Bridget is asking you to look deeper. And then here's the wealth card. I want to say on this, because Bridget's asking you to look deeper is not about the people coming in or the relationships coming in, as much as I feel like it's about allowing you to see the wisdom of whatever relationships have not worked in the past, so that you could be brought in something that is more aligned to the truth of who you are and the evolution that you then want to foster for the rest of your life's journey. I think this is a really great spread for Libra, because you are already pre-designed to be in relationships. And this doesn't have to be relationships necessarily that are always intimate. It can be partnership relationships. I think this is about relationships in general. But I do think for a majority of you, I want to say it this way. The younger folks, I want to say, oh, geez. Why tune in if you want me to shut up? What's the point? Right? Go somewhere else. Sorry, I don't take no nonsense. All right. So I want to say this, because this is where I was going with this. Yes, if you are of a certain age, like I am, okay, contemplating a romantic relationship is maybe slightly more challenging in the human experience, okay? Absolutely, positively. I need a moderator. I just don't know how to do that. Anyway, but I want to go back, not interrupt myself, because I think it's just time for Libra Rising to write a new story, guys. Write a new story. Give life to whatever has come before, was there to enlighten you or to give you experiences, so that when this new thing comes in, you have an appreciation beyond what you might have had if you were younger. That's all. Okay, let's go on to Scorpio. Thanks, everybody. Good morning. Remember to put your numbers in for the drawing for the free reading. We've got some new rules going on with that. If you're a winner, you have to contact me via Lotta's website to let me know within a week. because I can't keep track, and I'll feel really bad if you call me 6 months from now and say, I want a free reading, and I'll be like, sorry, I don't have any way to track that. So I've had to put some sort of conditions on it. So you'll have to come back and check and see if you're number one, meaning WON, not ONE. And this week's winner was me, B. And then Artsy Girl Marilyn, you have one more week to get a hold of me. You were last week's winner. All right, on to Scorpio Rising. Thank you, Phoenix. And if you submit your number on the feedback or in the Lotta's website, I won't get it. It has to be in the chat or on the live feed. Okay, Scorpio Rising. First angel is Crystal. The second is Archangel Raphael. The third is Athena. And the final is Francesca. Ooh. The number range is 1 to 500. All right, here we go. Scorpio Rising. Joining Crystal is the Mystery. Joining Archangel Raphael is the Wealth card. Joining Athena is the Dog. And joining Francesca is the Owl. Very interesting. Okay, so this is the thing. With my Scorpio Rising, this is really a week, a time, a period when it's about your willingness to. We talked about intention, platform. What's my belief? What do I sit on? Where am I? What is my energetic dynamic? Okay, before I go on, I'm gonna say one thing. Every thought is two thoughts. Okay, so there's the inspired thought of something I want to create, something I want to experience. Then there's the dominant thought that the human goes through. It's usually the, oh, how will I get there? Where will the money come from? And what becomes the beacon to spirit is the dominant thought. So here, this is what I'm getting at. Crystal is saying have faith and hope because there's something more on the horizon that you can't see. And then the Mystery card is about choice. Are you going to choose to have faith in this moment, to believe in yourself beyond any physical evidence? And you may even have a slight bit of physical evidence, but there's no progression of that evidence. So it feels like it's dwindling down. But what if it's not dwindling down? What if it's actually growing a stronger root ball so that when it does pop up, it stays solid? Because here in the opportunity, the obstacle, Scorpio Rising, I have Archangel Raphael and the Wealth card. The Wealth card is about harmonious wealth. It's always about more than just money. It's about feeling and thriving in all the facets of my body, my physical body, my mental body, my spiritual body, my emotional body, my intimate body, my family body, all those dynamics. So this is your opportunity. And Scorpio Rising, the angels are asking you to lovingly assert yourself. This is the Dog. The Dog is about unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. And Athena is about lovingly asserting yourself. This assertion is more about what Crystal is saying, having a choice of what am I going to believe in this moment when there's no evidence? Because Francesca is saying, what do you visualize right now? What do you desire right now? Visualize that. Negativity will block your progress. And then here's the Owl. The Owl is it's that, to me, in many respects, at least in this context, but often it's the question I ask myself. I go deep down inside and I say to myself, am I going to get that job? Is that really right? And then the deeper knowing says yes, but maybe I get scared because the outside world has no evidence of it and I'm afraid to trust my deeper knowing. Well, Scorpio, if anybody should trust their deeper knowing, you should. You know, you're ruled by Pluto. You know how to dig deep a little bit. Just don't let Pluto mess with your mind. Don't let it go to the dark side, because Pluto transformed is incredible light. So trust that as you step forward, there's things, these things are happening. Keep your eye on the prize, the outcome, not the road to get there. All right, let's go into Sagittarius. Okay. All right, Sagittarius rising, here we go. Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. Don't be afraid to hit the like button, anybody. I like to get likes. Is that bad? Does that make me sound like I'm hawking for a like? Oh, well. Okay, Sagittarius Rising. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Very sweet. Okay, here we go. Sagittarius Rising. Our first angel is Rochelle. Oh, I get so excited when I see her. Then I have Vanessa. Then I have Oceana. Thank you, Tammy K. And I have Daniel. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Oh, the Forge. Thank you. Everybody, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Sagittarius Rising. This is looking very fun. Let's see. Hi, Portugal. Thank you, Andrew. Okay. Joining Rochelle is the King. Joining Vanessa is the Bird. Joining Oceana is the Eagle. And joining Daniel is the Letting Go card. All righty. My goodness, Sagittarius. This is really fun. Okay. I got to tell you. Now, you know, Lotta's got a huge following. So I'm going to, in some ways, be specific in general. I'm going to try to hit two different ways because here I have Rochelle talking about following and honoring the guidance of your heart. This is the big honoring, the big deal. This is what I really want. This is not about saying what I think you want to hear, because the King here is about justice. It's about karma. It pertains to the law, and it also pertains to the male energy. If you're wanting to be in a relationship, which this would indicate to me, it's about really allowing yourself, and I'm not putting any gender on this now. So you can be a man who loves a man. You can be a woman who loves a woman. You can be a man who loves a woman. You could be, I don't even know all the combinations anymore, because this isn't about the gender. It's about allowing yourself to honor the guidance of your heart and knowing that it is just and right and karmically aligned for my Sagittarius, because Sagittarius rising, I want to say out loud, because here I have the Baird, okay, which is my history, the story I tell myself, which is Vanessa saying, are you going to sit on your story? Are you going to sit on what you've lacked before and be afraid of it? Or are you going to believe in it? Because I have Oceana and the Eagle saying to lovingly assert yourself. And this is the Eagle, the connection to the angelic realm. You're being angelically guided. And I want to offer you this because here's Daniel and the Letting Go card. This is absolutely partnership. And Daniel talks about going back into my story. What have I experienced in the past? What have I told myself in the past? And to change that story. That's what Daniel's asking you to do. This is a new person, a new dynamic. It's a new you as well. So as you look and you say to yourself, okay, Sagittarius rising, I really want this, and I want it so much. It's just and fair that I have it, and it doesn't matter where I've come from before. And I'm going to say this might sound a little weird, but I'm seeing Donald Trump in my head. And if I say this, literally, the guy was a celebrity apprentice. You know, I mean, hello, who in the world would have ever thought he would become our president? It's just mind-boggling, and I'm not commenting on his presidency. It's just the dynamic that you go from being on TV, and then you become president. Just crazy. Okay, so I hope that made sense. What I'm trying to say for Sagittarius rising is it's time to really dig deep with what you want, what you really makes your heart sing. And if that is a relationship, because Daniel is definitely the angel of marriage, and here's the King, I have to say that. Well, Ronald Reagan, yeah, but he was kind of a movie star. It was different. You know, we weren't also shocked by him. Donald Trump is not Ronald Reagan. Sorry. Okay, not making any public or political commentary. I'm just saying. Okay, so just to wrap it up for my Sagittarius, I feel like this is an opportunity that Spirit wants to bring you a new story in your relationships, both your intimate relationships, your partner relationships, and the relationships you have in general with other people. And as you have faith that you can have this elevated experience, Spirit is going to start to pepper the your everyday life with those dynamics. Okay, let's go on to Capricorn. My goats. I think about you guys all the time, Capricorn. I don't know why, but I'm seeing the goats up on the hill. They'll be leaving soon. I'm always sad when they go. I wish they could stay up there all year round. Welcome, Jody. Okay, so we do this by rising sign. So if you don't know your rising sign, you can always go to Lotta's website, www.astrolotta.com, and she has a free birth calculator. And then you'll know what your rising sign is. You got to know your time of birth. Yes, he was governor of California. Yes, Sherry Porter. He was. He went to Bel Air Presbyterian Church when he was down in Los Angeles, because I used to go to that church. All right, here we go, my Cappies. What does Spirit have to say for you this week? Yeah. Yes, you are. Epic, that is. Okay. Our first angel is Layla. The second is Vanessa. The third is Fiona. And the final is Celeste. As I'm pulling the cards, the first thing I think of is that you guys are on this axis, this eclipse axis, and along with Cancer. So it's a lot of opportunities for, they talk that eclipses bring in fated events, but all fated events are not necessarily negative, and they're not all necessarily in the material world. Sometimes those fated events actually come within ourselves, and our own evolution is how we see ourselves. And I think this is where I'm going with Capricorn this week. Okay. Yeah, K2, Saturn, and Pluto are all right next to each other, hanging out, having a party. All right, so we have the focus card coming in with Layla. We have the letting go card joining Vanessa. We have the disruption card with Fiona, and then we have the bee joining Celeste. So this is really what I want to say. Capricorn, I feel like this last few weeks, I don't really remember from week to week what I say, but I feel like I see my goats keep, going up a hill. And I feel like part of it has to do relationship-wise, the people around you that, you're trying to communicate in a certain way, and people are not evolving. I guess I want to put it that way. They're not evolving. And I feel like Layla is asking you to take some time. And I don't necessarily want to say to go out into nature and walk around exactly the same. But I want to say, yes, you can do that. That would be wonderful. But don't preclude when you're driving in your car or when you're looking through your windows or something, because nature can come to you in some ways. I want you to be aware of the symbols that are coming through, the differences in the things you may see. Not just, maybe there's commonality in your neighborhood. You see, mynah birds. We have mynah birds here. And then we have crows, and then we have hawks. The amount of time that you see them, pay attention, because there's something about the focus that's going on right now that Spirit wants to use the dynamic of whatever nature is attracting your attention to see, for you to focus in on the dynamics of that animal, and to then in many ways focus in on it. So I see somebody just said something about a pigeon. The first thing I see when I see pigeons is pigeons are very determined. They're just very determined to peck at that ground. So maybe there's a certain amount of determination that needs to be reevaluated, because I have Vanessa in the opportunity or the obstacle saying, are you going to base your decisions on faith or fear? And then I have the letting go card. This is, again, writing my own story. And it's funny how some distance makes everything look small, and the fears that once control me can't get to me at all. This is always going to be that song, Let It Go, for me. And it's such a rich song with what it has to offer in the way of empowerment when you listen to it, because it's really about breaking a box. And the box is everybody else's idea of what I am. Because Capricorn Rising, the angels are saying, allow for this disruption, because it is being somehow guided. And maybe it's not necessarily a disruption. This isn't the angel's advice. It doesn't have to be outside. It can be on the inside. It feels very much a little bit like on the inside. And I say that because I have Celeste in the final position, and I repeat myself constantly because I want to just make sure it's very clear. This talks about a change to a new home and a new place of employment, but this is a shift in the way I think. And there's the bee, the victory card, my being energy. This has really been an opportunity for Capricorn I almost want to say it this way. I feel like you're so smart that sometimes you're a little impatient with people that aren't smart. Okay. And doing that makes me, hold on, gotta jump up a second. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Wait, no. D, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I meant to do it over here because I don't know what that is. So I'm going to do that. And D, I'm going to stop. Okay, did I get you back? Okay. I've done something, guys. I apologize. I don't know how to get, I don't know how to get D back. Sorry, what did I do? Hold on. Put user in hide. I don't want to do any of that. How do you unhide somebody? D Gosa, I apologize. I've hidden you and I don't know how to stop unhide you. I don't know what I did. I so apologize. Oh, you're back. Okay, good. Sorry. I don't know what I did. I need a moderator. You guys are right. Thank you. Okay. Finally, let me just say this, Capricorn. This whole dynamic is this. I feel like you guys are really smart. You may be feeling a little impatient with people who refuse to move, refuse to shift, refuse to grow, refuse to be flexible in their thought. And so you can't be like rigid in your thought about them being more flexible. So patience, allow spirit to show you where your focus is, where, try to keep yourself from getting a little too frustrated, because I really feel like it's time to turn that over to spirit. It's almost as if, I really get the feeling, it's just so weird with Capricorn. It's almost like you have an employee and you're trying to shift the employee and get them to do things in a new way. And they just won't, no matter what, they keep boomeranging back to an old story. And you kind of wish that you had never hired that person. It's like, I wish that they're paying. So spirit, if you need them to move on, you can't do it. Let spirit lead them the way. Thank spirit for bringing them into balance in some way. And this is just a scenario. It could be anything like that, right? And always thank spirit for bringing things into balance. Never for thanking them for getting rid of something. Okay, let's go on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius rising, here we go. Anybody, all relationships. Truth be told, the world is just one big relationship. Everything that happens for relationships. Even when you're in the freeway and you decide, you're going to be benevolent to the one person who wants to get in traffic, that's a relationship you built with that car, because, now you're driving down the highway, they're going to be nice to you too. And then there's the guy that you build a relationship that you're not nice to on the highway. All right, here we go. Aquarius rising. Oh, our first angel is Shanti, and the second was Merlina. They came out together. The third is Maya, and the final is Ariel. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. I so appreciate you all being here in all different time zones, whether it's morning or night. This is just so much fun. I'm so grateful to Lada to allow me to do this. It's completely feels different than some of the other stuff. Okay, so with Shanti, we have the Serpent. With Merlina, we have the Wrist card. With Maya, we have the Frog. And with Ariel, we have the Wind Fairy. Okay, Aquarius. All right. So, wow, Andrew, thank you for being up in the middle of the night. Thank you. And I guess it is good morning for you. Okay. So, Aquarius, Shanti is the angel of peace. And before peace can come in, whatever's been disrupting that peace has to be balanced out. And then I have the Serpent. The Serpent is about healing and knowledge. And I kind of want to go here more with knowledge than I'm talking about healing, because it feels like the peace comes through some sort of reconciliation and knowing that the dynamic is what it is. Let's say, for instance, you've been in a long-term relationship and you've gotten used to how that person is and how they react to certain things. Shanti is asking you in some ways, in order for there to be peace, rather than trying to look at the other person as being something different, that maybe you should allow yourself to see things through a new eyes, shed a skin. Because I have Merlina and the Risk card here. Merlina talks about confusion and indecision, and the Risk card here. And I don't necessarily think it's about confusion for Aquarius as much as it feels like it's about, it's hard to risk a bigger thought when you're used to a certain experience. It's hard to see things as shifting because Maya's here. Maya's the card of schooling and education, energetic education. And the frog is about, hi Bethany, about releasing emotional baggage. It's about the reconciliation of it. This is these two positions, the second position, opportunity and obstacle, and the angel's advice, they're more advisory. They're not necessarily anchored in the real world, because in the final position is the wind fairy, and there's Ariel, which is why I feel like Aquarius is in a long-term situation or in something that they're, even if it's a new situation, like it's a new person, but it's an old dynamic. Sometimes we'll manifest the same dynamic, but with a new face or in a new location, because the wind fairy is sort of analysis paralysis to me, and that might be what's disrupting the peace. And in order for Aquarius rising to truly feel a sense of harmony right now, I feel like it's about rewriting the story in my mind about how it is, and then going from that dynamic to saying, and I want to purport what it is that I want to receive. So let's say that you want somebody who, when you talk, that you want your partners to listen to you, and they don't, they talk over you. So rather than trying to talk over them to tell them to please listen to you, it would be a time that you would want to be quiet and give them the platform. And eventually that person will run out of things to say, and then you can step in and start to facilitate what Shanti offers you by peacefully allowing yourself to do something different and turning over whatever story you have about the dynamic to spirit. And again, this is always thanking them for giving you the eyes to see things through a new lens, because we very much, as humans, it's very natural for us to go back to our reference points, what we have, what we haven't had, what we've experienced, what we haven't experienced. Okay, let's go on to our final sign, Pisces. Pisces rising. Thank you, Andrew. I'm so happy that you feel comfortable here. I hope you'll join us well, you don't want to be up in the middle of the night every Sunday, Monday morning, but I love having everybody here. I don't know if I've ever told the audience this, but how I started and met Lotta was I did one question reading for her to ask her about my career, and she told me that I was born on the star Spica, and Spica is the voice of the angels, and so she told me that this is exactly what I was born to do. And I'll tell you, I'm very Rahu about this. It's the most important thing in the world to me. More important than any relationships or anything, to be here for you guys, to help us all have a more pleasant and fun and empowering and manifesting and creative human experience. So that's what my job is here on the planet. Okay, on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces rising. Our first angel is Rosetta. Our final angel is Bethany. Serena, haven't seen her today. And then Archangel Uriel. All right. And while I'm shuffling, I'm just going to remind you all one more time that the Rahu K2 Pluto, Rahu K2, sorry. The Pluto Saturn K2 special is on for another week, until April 15th. So if you'd like to get that, it's 40% off. Then it'll go up to $89. It's $59 right now. Dimitri 77 has already been played. It won last week. So pick another number between 1 and 500. All right. Shameless plug. Done. Here we go on to Pisces. Okay. Oh, so we have the Burden card joining Rosetta. We have the Butterfly joining Bethany. We have the Perception card joining Serena. And we have Archangel Uriel joined by the Water Fairy. Okay, guys. When I look at this, the Burden card on top of Rosetta is a little bit of a challenge. I'm not going to say it isn't. But I want to put it this way. There is so many of you potential Pisces. So yes, you could all be parents, you could be teachers, and you could be feeling burdened by that dynamic right now. But as a collective, I kind of like to go with the whole the burden of my own dreams, the burden of what I want. Sometimes when we're trying to care for our own, I want to use the word legacy. What Pisces Rising wants to be, what they want to leave behind, what they want to be known for, what they want to birth into this world. Okay, Jeremy, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so very much. God doesn't warn anything. God loves us. He doesn't scare us. Silly. All right. I think I got the guy out. Okay. I think he's out. Okay. And I can appreciate everybody's point of view. I can appreciate people who are into organized religion. I can appreciate what they're taught. I was raised in the church, and this is why I have such a close connection to God and the angels. And I'm so privileged to be able to have a relationship with them, that they actually talk to me because I allow for it. So I'm going to go on. Pisces. Here, this is about you. Okay, I'm done with all you funny people. Okay, let's just knock it off. So here we go, Pisces. This is really about the inner child. It's about your dreams, your hopes, your desires, your legacy, what you want to birth into this world. And you may be feeling a little burdened by that right now. You may be feeling like it's insurmountable, may never happen, because you're sitting in a place as the butterfly. You're the caterpillar right now. You are going through yet another phase, another as we manifest, as we assert ourselves on this planet, we go through a series of ascensions, a series of vibrational changes that adapt us to what we are giving birth to. So here you're going through a bit of a metamorphosis, and it's really a good time to take care of yourself. And I have Serena, the angel of abundance, with the perception card. So this is really a time when you may not know where your resources are coming from just yet, and yet there's this strong knowing, almost a burden, that I have to continue to move forward towards those dreams, towards those desires, towards those things I want, because I feel like you might be a little frustrated that you're not necessarily seeing things. I feel like Pisces rising may have a challenge to you're being called to another level of deep belief in yourself, deep faith in yourself, in your connection to the divine, your connection to spirit. And I feel like you may be just slightly frustrated with yourself because your intuition is saying, yes, I know this is okay. How do I want to remove you. Thank you. Let me see here. Pardon me, everybody. I just need to get these people out. Okay. Oh, I meant to hit harassment. Oh, well, whatever. Okay. So finally, here's where we're going. Oh, geez. You got to go away, boo. Nobody here is interested in this right now. Why don't you just go bug somebody else? Okay. All right, here we go. So the reason I'm going with this is because the frustration and the burden, which is so interesting that we would be talking about this Pisces rising as these guys are starting to be so snarky. Because you know what? Sometimes you got to work past the snarky people, past the people who have little vision and who depend on something outside of themselves. Spirit and we work together. God is in charge of how the money will show up, but God is also in charge of supporting us as we check into our perceptions of our abundance, of the things that come, the things that we want to birth into this world. So this is where I want to just kind of, because I got really choppy here with Pisces with all the interruptions. I want to say this. I feel like this is a week where you may be feeling a bit uneasy about whether or not the things that you've been endeavoring are actually going to come to fruition. It's just sort of like, you've done all you can on some level, and there's a little bit of a waiting game here. During the waiting game, I believe it's up to Pisces rising to have the faith to go back to spirit and to thank them for your perspective of abundance and your perspective of achievement, because it is every single time that you achieve something, there's going to be a period of a recalibration, allowing it in, accepting it so that the struggle comes off and the ease comes in. So that's where I want to go with this. I got my flow back. So Pisces rising, allowing spirit, thank you for the flow. Thank you for the ease. Thank you for my own perceptions adapting to my own creation. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. I'm Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. I want to thank you for being here every week with me. I truly enjoy this more than anything, and I enjoy the diversity, even if it feels a little controversial and a little snarky. So everybody, hi, Marty. So great to see you. Thank you again, everybody. Be sure to put your number in between 1 and 500 and come back and see if you won, because I'm not going to, I can't drag this out forever. So you have 1 week to cash in on your free reading once it's been announced. And yes, yes, I broadcast on this channel. I'm one of Lotta's contributors. My name is Teri Hunter. Thanks, Rana. Good to see you, Rona. I always say Rana. Why do I do that? It's Rona. Spelled right there. R-O-N-A. Simple Simon. Mona, Rona. Okay, guys. Thank you again. And take advantage of we've got 1 more week for the Rahu K2, not Rahu K2, Pluto K2 Saturn conjunction. And thank you so much again. Have a great week. Lots of love to you all. I'll see you next week at 11 a.m. Pacific time.